Thank you very much. I don't know if it's appropriate for me to talk here, but once again, a very big hand to all the brave souls. Can you hear that? I'm just wondering what I can speak. Their actions itself have spoken so loudly. But anyway, they've told me to speak for 45 minutes, but I'll cut it to 30 minutes. Is it okay? For me, courage, bravery can be looked in so many dimensions. But the biggest courage is, in spite of whatever situations in life, can we be bigger than the situation? For me, that is the great awakening. Irrespective of whatever situations in life, can we be bigger than the situation? And when we are bigger than the situation, we can handle the situation more dexterously, more vibrantly, and more alive way. And that opens, right, a different dimension of us. Right, to start our little light now, it seems a person was driving in his car and his friend observed every time there was a honking of a lorry, Mr. Nazaruddin used to literally shiver. Every time there's a honking of a lorry, Mr. Nazaruddin used to literally shiver. At the end of the journey, after 2 hours, his friend asked, Nazaruddin, I want to ask a question. Why is that only the honking of a lorry you seem to shiver and not the honking of any other vehicle? To which Nazaruddin says, I'm saying something very confidential. Keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody. Every time there's a honking of a lorry, and only a lorry, I'm scared because my wife ran away with a lorry driver. And every time there's a honking of a lorry, I'm scared, I'm afraid where the lorry driver will return the wife back to me. Now, it's a simple Sufi story. People live their life out of fear, 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 and fear. The Veda gives a beautiful statement, Bishasmat vatat pavate, bishodeti surya. If you look into people's life, he is always operated of fear, 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 and fear. And those courageous people are one who are not a victim of fear, but who are a victor of fear. So our life can be, friends, looking at all these people, our life can be either a fear-oriented living or our life can be a love-oriented living. Two options are open to us. Life can be a fear-oriented living, and the Veda says because of that, life is crippling. Or life can be love-oriented living, and when life is love-oriented living, you will do what you love and you will love what you will do. If you can do what you love, the individual there who knows so many dogs, etc., was brought, because I'm a great lover of animals. I have 6 cats and 2 dogs in my ashram. All right, I understand what he's doing there. If you are doing out of love, you will do what you love and you will love what you will do. If you can do what you love and love what you will do, automatically you will develop courage. A mother who loves the child so much will automatically have the courage, will have the bravery, will have the perseverance, will have the patience to really do. Isn't it, friends? You just observe. So if you can do what you love and love what you do, right, that very love itself will bring about courage. That love itself will bring about bravery, and an action backed by courage, backed by love is a very powerful action. But an action backed by fear, an action backed by ego, an action backed by lack of bravery is very fragmented, is very, very dilapan. So therefore, a very big drastic change that we have to do is from fear-oriented living, can we live a love-oriented living? Now that's where we need to search. How can I live out of love? How can I really operate? Unfortunately, if you see, people have even started saying you should be God-fearing. I hear this so often. It's so ridiculous. You have to be God-fearing. God is not something to be afraid of. Be it Krishna, Buddha, Mahavira, Jesus, whoever it is. But people say, I'm very God-fearing. Hey, God is not something to be afraid of. God is something to be loved. And out of the love, a certain energy should emerge. But we say it's God-fearing. And the moment you are God-fearing, now your actions out of fear, your prayers out of fear is also going to be manipulative. Right? Very beautiful story of one Mr. Mullah, right, builds a beautiful palace. It's a beautiful story. Builds a beautiful palace out of his own earning, builds a wonderful palace, and at the near inauguration of the palace, he wanted to go and see the palace. So through the boat itself he passes, right, and he has to cross the other side of the river to see the palace, and maybe the next week inaugurate. And as he started going there, suddenly there was a storm. When there was a storm, the boat was about to be sunk. And this, right, Mullah Nasruddin, he was never a religious person, but suddenly he knew he's going to die. Suddenly he became religious. He started kneeling down and say, oh God, I promise you, please save me, and started doing business with the Lord. Right? I promise you, oh Lord, please save my life. If you save my life, I will sell the palace, and the proceeds of the palace, I will give it to the poor. Most of our prayers are corruption to the Lord, no? All right, I'll sell the palace, and proceeds of palace give to the poor. So please save me so I can see the palace which I have built. Suddenly the storm subsided. The waves came, and suddenly Mullah Nasruddin thought I was too fast in making a deal with the Lord. I think I was too fast, and as the soliloquy was going on, suddenly there was a storm once again. And then Mullah Nasruddin realizes, oh, God has heard what is happening in my mind. So again he bows down and says, oh Lord, I was only joking. Can't you take the joke lightly? Don't take it seriously. I promise you, I'll sell the palace and give it to the poor. Please save my life. And suddenly the storm comes down. He feels very happy. Now he means business. Right? He comes out. But the manipulative mind, please see, when your love is born out of fear, when your prayer is born of fear, what happens? So he comes out, sees this beautiful palace. All right, at that point of time, it must be 1 crore, so many years back. He goes down and suddenly he does a manipulation. He goes and gets a cat, ties the cat to the pillar of the palace, and those days is 1 crore is a big amount. And then goes to the temple or goes to the mosque somewhere, bows down and says, oh Lord, I'm a gentleman, I'll honor my word. I'll sell the palace, give it to the poor, but the palace is only 1 rupee. But whoever buys the palace must buy the cat, and the cat is 1 crore. Right? He places, goes there, and announces the whole town. The whole town was shocked. The cat is 1 rupee, palace is 1 crore, and here this man going and saying, the cat is 1 crore, and palace is 1 rupee. Whoever buys the palace must buy the cat. But anyway, it does not make any difference. So somebody comes and pays it. When he pays it, he takes the money, rushes to the temple or mosque, whatever it is, and tells the Lord, I am a gentleman, honor my word. I said, the proceeds of the palace, I'll give it to the poor. And the proceeds of the palace is how much? 1 rupee. And the cat is my cat. And takes 1 crore and goes away. A wonderful story, a mystical story. When your prayer is born out of fear, all right, you start manipulating. And when you start manipulating, please understand, only a manipulative energy comes, not the courageous energy which will really come. If courage has to emerge of a person, bravery has to emerge, it should be the power of love, not fear-oriented, love-oriented. When there's love, there is courage. When there's courage, there is bravery. And when there is love, there is automatically giving. Please see this. And then you will understand the act of these people. When there is love, there's automatically giving. Because love always wants to give. He gives not the best who gives the most, but he gives the most who gives the best. If I cannot give bountiful, yet I will give freely. And what I lack in my hand, I will supply it with my heart. Because love operates from a heart, and love knows the language of giving. But ego,